There's no discounts. There are discounts, but they're statutory. Statutory means that you're entitled to them by statute, not because this guy or that guy is a nice guy or in effect is going to give you what is in effect an illegal kickback, but because the statute requires there to be a discount in certain situations. And let's walk through some of these statutory discounts. First one is called the simultaneous fee and mortgage rate, commonly known as the SIMUL, S-I-M-U-L, SIMUL rate. It's just short for simultaneous. So here's basically how it works. You're buying a property for all cash, $500,000. You're going to get an owner's policy. Go onto your computer, get a title rate calculator. That $500,000 owner's policy. I don't know the exact number. A couple of grand will pop up. $1,800, $2,000, $2,500, whatever the number might be. That's the rate. Now forget that you're buying an owner's policy. You already own the property. You're refinancing your property. Okay, you've owned it already. Or you're not refinancing. I'll say it a different way. You're putting a mortgage on your property for the first time. You're going to get a mortgage rate. There are separate rates for the owner's policy and for the lender's the mortgage policies. So now you're not buying it. Now you already own the property. You're only doing a mortgage policy. You go on, put the $350,000 mortgage in there. It'll pop up a number, $2,000, whatever the number might be. Those two rates, $2,500 and $2,000 are standalone rates. And you'd think if you were buying the property at the same time that you're getting the mortgage, you would just take A plus B, and that would be your premium, $2,500 plus $2,000. Please, bear with me. You could probably go on the computer while you're watching this and get the actual numbers. I'm just throwing out rough numbers. But it is not simply taking A plus B and that's your premium when you do the two things together. Instead, if you're purchasing the owner's policy at the same time that you're purchasing the mortgage policy, you get a discount called the SIMUL rate, the simultaneous rate, that discounts in effect the mortgage policy. So you get a reduced rate by virtue of the fact that you're buying the two policies at the same time. And the truth is, that happens in many, many cases, most cases with purchases. Why? Because in most cases, when people are buying a piece of property, they're getting a mortgage at the same time. So in most cases, there is some sort of a SIMUL rate that's kicking in at the time that you're making the purchase. Extremely important that you understand that. Second major statutory discount, and let me just say this again. SIMUL rate is not given at the courtesy of the title company because they feel like being nice. You don't have to ask for it. The title company is required to give it to you, and every title company will. And if for some reason you're dealing with a title company that doesn't, then they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's statutory. Second is the reissue rate. Again, completely, totally statutory. Okay? Reissue rate is very simple. Reissue rate simply says if you purchase title insurance for this same property, same people in the last 10 years, then you're entitled to the reissue rate. Okay? The reissue rate, depending on the size of the mortgage, is either 50 or 70% of the otherwise applicable rate. Again, same property, same people, 10 years. So you bought the property 8 years ago, bought title insurance at that point. Now you're refinancing the mortgage. You're entitled to the reissue rate. Okay? It has to be 10 years, so 11 years you don't get the reissue rate. It has to be the same property. It has to be the same people. Extremely important. You should understand this. Husband and wife or an individual refinancing, no problem, same people. However, let's say it's two individuals who own as investors, right? Not a husband and wife, not a family home, or a commercial or otherwise investment property. And A and B bought the property together. Now it's 6 years later and they're refinancing it because A is going to buy B out of the property, and now A is only going to own the property going forward. Now you don't have that. In fact, they're going to use the money from the refinance to buy B out. Now you don't